I thought that joining the military would be kind of like how it is in the movies.
Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, love those movies growing up. I don't know, it just fascinated me. The uniforms, the camaraderie, the brotherhood.
Be all you can be was the motto when I got in. I wanted a sense of adventure.
My recruiter was the 82nd Airborne paratrooper, and as soon as I talked to him and his stories and how challenging it was, this is something I can do.
The public today, they have no frame of reference for what it means to be a veteran. They have no frame of reference of what veterans are going through on a day-to-day basis, how many different countries in the world that we are dispatched to at this current time.
We're in our 17th year of war, and we're doing it without a draft this time around. And so we are fighting these longest wars by redeploying the same volunteers over and over and over again in a way we've never done. We have a whole nother level of fanaticism. The suicide bombing tactics create a huge uncertainty for those in the war zone, and that level of hyper-awareness significantly increases psychological injuries.
It's the kids that stick with you. Seeing the kids that are just playing. The Taliban put a bomb in their field. They brought a 4-year-old little girl to me. She had one arm and half a face. The things like that are the things that can't be unseen.
There was an Iraqi who drove a car with a 3-year-old kid that he claimed was sick, so he could get past the barricade, and blew him and his child up.
Just like I got used to the training, I got used to seeing horrific things, I got used to bottling up, and I got used to squashing it down.
Multiple people told me I had PTSD while I was in the Marine Corps and told me I needed to seek help. I refused to. Having issues like that while you're in the service is frowned upon. You can't hack it. You're weak. I mean, that's just what we tell each other.
They train you to go to Iraq. They don't train you to come back.
The transition back to civilian life can be immensely difficult.
I felt like I was set up to fail.
Those experiences that I had will never go away. The thoughts and the loss will never go away.
There was times where I didn't want to wake up. I hated who I was.
I lost my temper a lot when I got home. I'd get angry, and I would be able to vent my frustrations physically. And that's what I did when I was in Iraq, and that's what I did when I got home, and it was wrong, and it didn't work out for me.
I got into using drugs so that I didn't have to sleep because I didn't want to have to deal with nightmares. I dissociated from everyone.
I was introduced to methamphetamines. I found a steady supply of it. And overnight, I'm not really sure how, I became a drug dealer. And I would say in the span of 2 years, I destroyed my entire life.
I didn't think about the law. I didn't think about the consequences, but they surely started to come.
In a regular criminal court, the model is meant to be adversarial. There is no positive reinforcement. There's only, you're doing something wrong, we're going to punish you for that.
I, as the prosecutor, if I believe that you've committed a crime, then it's my goal to seek a conviction.
In the regular court systems, it's black and white. You get in, you get a public defender after you've sat in jail for a little bit. They try to get you to plead out to something and not understanding why. There's no middle ground.
Putting a traumatized veteran in a cage does not solve their problems. They come out of the cage worse off, posing a greater threat to the public than they did before.
After I got out of jail, I went back to using it and I got angry, even more so than I was before.
And it's not long before they are back in trouble again and back in the court. Veterans courts are intended to break that cycle of recidivism by setting aside the specific conduct that got the veteran in trouble and focusing instead on the underlying mental health and substance abuse issues that drove that conduct.
The right thing to do with these people is get at what drove them to get to me in the first place.
It's totally different. It's like taking the paradigm and shaking it all up and then putting it back together again and thinking about it from a different way. It's a team perspective, and everybody is there for the participants' success.
They came out of the chambers, all of them together, and said, this is what we can do for you. And I said, well, that's not really a plea bargain. And they said, no, it's not a plea bargain. This is what we're going to do for you. You don't feel like you need to make excuses or justifications. And every single one of the people that are in that courtroom are there to help you.
The guys I see who show up and want it and work the program, it's a lifeline. It rescues them from some really bad stuff.
I went into veterans court and told them, I've got a garden hose and a roll of duct tape in a car with a exhaust pipe, and I'll do it because I don't like who I am. I don't like doing any of this. The judge came down off the bench along with the prosecutor and gave me a hug, and they told me they love me and that they want me here. Now these are the people in my mind that are supposed to be throwing the book at me, wanting to throw me in jail, wanting me to fail. That's not how it was. When
I first came into veterans court, I was like a really scared, angry, lonely little girl. And today, I'm a really strong, independent, interdependent woman. I owe my entire life to them, 100%. They saw potential in me that I didn't see in myself. And they gave me the chance, and they exhausted all of their resources on me to help me help myself.
Veterans Court isn't a get out of jail free card, but what it is an opportunity to do a positive intervention and get good people on the right track in life.
There's an element of trust in everything, from treatment to the court to treatment to probation to the veteran, that we all have to build through this court process to be successful.
Many of the vets that come through this court will say, the last time that I felt this much hope and this much potential is when I was serving this country, and I had a team of people around me that I could rely on, that were consistent, that held me to my highest level of potential.
We owe it as a country to these young men and women who have served and sacrificed on our behalf.
We've known about PTSD, we've known about the effects of war, and we've continued to send people to war. That decision comes with the weight that we have to help the people that come back.
And I'm not about to start making guys convicted felons until I've given a shot at getting them squared away again. I think we owe it to them.
These are people that we've asked to pick up a weapon, to go man a post, and to end somebody else's life in the name of protecting our freedom and democracy. The least that we can do is to say, thank you, we know you're in pain, let us help you.
We're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands more veterans coming back who have seen more combat over a longer period of time. This is only going to escalate. And the faster we can get on to the Veterans Court movement, the better off our returning soldiers are going to be, and the safer we're all going to be.